It's the Happy Families podcast. It's the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now.
Our school is 18 minutes from home? But we also have a child who has an activity every single morning before school that is so early that we have to do 2 trips to school in the morning. That's 80 minutes just in the morning driving to and from our house and school. Holy cow, so much driving.
And now here's the stars of our show, my mum and dad.
It's the Happy Families podcast. Hello, this is Dr. Justin Coulson, the founder of happyfamilies.com.au and dad to 6 kids. Ask me how I'm doing.
How are you doing,
I'll
honey?
tell you about that shortly, but it's been a big week without you, and we're so glad to have you back. I'll tell you why soon. You've been away for most of this week on a health retreat. You've been having your meals cooked for you. You've been staying in a place where mobile phones don't work, soaking up the greenery, the nature, all of that sort of stuff. Look at you, you're grinning, you're beaming and it's been so good.
It really has. And I recognise,
Really?
I do recognise what a privilege it is to get away, especially at that level and have that level of care. One of the things I love about the health retreats is just access to therapies that are not readily available.
Yeah, it's really hard to find great therapists who are intuitive and do the stuff that you need.
Yeah. And so I was able to tap into it's called abdominal healing.
I feel like I could do with some abdominal healing. maybe more than just me. Maybe several of us could do with some.
I think so. I think so.
So what's abdominal healing?
It follows Chinese medicine and the acknowledgement that our body is a massive storage container for all of the emotions that we've experienced through different experiences in our lives. And so abdominal healing is all about kind of, I guess, unblocking a lot of those emotions and letting them go.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never experienced it before, but the thing that stood out to her the most from everything else that I was experiencing was just how my body was in complete exhaustion mode. I was just so depleted and I feel it, but there's nothing better than having somebody in their professional space validating what my body is feeling.
Yep.
And so that was really powerful for me. But one of the experiences that I had there was just so profound. We were doing a meditation one night and the facilitator asked us to pair up with somebody that we hadn't met yet during our stay. And she acknowledged that while we would think that it was just a coincidence that through the week we would actually become clear as to why we were drawn to this person. And when we were joined together, her instructions were that we had to have a conversation and she posed 3 specific questions that we needed to answer. And the only rule was that we couldn't lose eye contact.
Right.
Do you know how hard it is, especially to a stranger?
Totally.
But it was so important to the outcome.
Uh-huh.
And so the first question was what brought us to the health retreat in the first place? And the person that I paired up with, she seemed really, really shy, a little bit unsure. And I just thought, I'll go, it's easy. So I acknowledged to her that I was a mother of 6 and that while I love being a mum, that I just felt like I had kind of got lost in all of it and was in a place where I needed some direction as to who I wanted to be, me, standalone. And, she looked at me and then she shared and acknowledged that for her, she's had 9 miscarriages and actually gone through 7 rounds of IVF.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow.
The old me would have sat there and just felt so guilty.
Especially after what you've just said, yeah.
Because of what I was
Yeah, here I am complaining about my 6 kids and how over them I am.
Yeah.
And here's this person who
the biggest weight that she was carrying was whether or not she would actually ever be able to be a mother. And it was so was just juxtaposed here, like so different. And yet instead of feeling guilty, there was just this beautiful acknowledgement that we could have 2 totally opposite feelings and emotions and that both are right in their own rights and both can feel the other person's pain.
Yeah. Empathy.
Yeah.
Compassion.
It was such a beautiful experience to just go, your pain's, there's no comparisons. There's no sense of, one's carrying a bigger burden than the other, because for you, that burden is weighty, regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
What it actually allowed me to do, though, which was so powerful, was recognize and feel her pain and then provide me with greater perspective and give thanks for the burden that I carry. Because I wouldn't change it for anything. And it was beautiful. It was really beautiful. And what I love about that is that I'm placed in this position where a whole bunch of strangers from all different walks of life have come together for a few days to find answers to a myriad of concerns and challenges that they're experiencing. And we find the answers in some of the most unexpected places.
Wow. The opportunity for you to go away is challenging. It's really challenging for the family, and it comes at a considerable cost as well. But you have those sorts of experiences, and they kind of they help you to reset, don't they?
Yeah.
They really, and I think that's why you've come back beaming.
I'm ready. Well, you promised me that you've learnt some things while I've been gone, so I'm interested.
I've learned a lot of things. I've made a list.
You learnt how to use a dishwasher?
The dishwasher's broken. And I'm so unhappy about it because it's a new dishwasher and it's one of the best brands that are out there, and we've only had it for a couple of months.
What about the washing machine? Did you learn how to use that?
The children have been looking after the washing machine only a couple of times, but the washing machine's gone on.
Still washing?
Do you know what? I cleaned up dog vomit. I'm so sorry for everyone who's listened to the podcast who just had to deal with that. I cleaned up dog vomit off the carpet and off the tiles. Like, I did it all. I've been hard at it. Here are my 5 lessons that I've learned, and then I want to share a quick story with you about what's happened while you've been gone. So number 1, on one of the mornings that you were gone, I can't remember which morning it was now. You were gone for like 3 or 4 mornings. Our 8-year-old, the one who can be super challenging, the one who has some additional needs, she just told me one morning that she wasn't going to go to school. And I could see myself getting into this power struggle with her. And I remembered force creates resistance and high emotions, low intelligence, and get curious, not furious, and all the stuff that I teach everybody all the time. And I tried it and nothing worked. So I looked at her and I said, I love you, Emily. I'm going to go and mow the lawn. Like, this is 7 a.m. because you're allowed to turn on the lawnmower at 7:01. So I'm like, I'm going to go and mow the lawn. And by the time I finish mowing the lawn, I'd love for you to be ready for school. And then I just walked away. And I thought, how in the world is an 8-year-old going to make this happen? I went outside. I mowed the lawn. I gave her a whole lot of space. I trusted, crossed my fingers, made sure that the TV remote was well hidden so she couldn't just plonk down in front of the TV. And about 5 minutes before I finished mowing the lawn, I saw her out of the corner of my eye walk out to the driveway and climb into the car with her school uniform on, her school bag on her shoulder, her school shoes and socks on, her hair all done. She'd eaten breakfast. She had done the lot. Her and her...
Did she have a violin?
It was not violin day, so we were safe.
Did she take her violin?
She forgot her violin on violin day. Thank you for asking that. Lesson number 1, give the kids space. Like, we're so intent on crowding them and telling them what to do and demanding that they do it right now. Once she'd calmed down, she just went and did it because she knew it had to be done and she knew that I expected it. So that was, for me, that was massive because I do push a little bit too hard. I know that I do it. I teach people not to do it, and I teach it because I need to learn it. And it was such a great thing. Second lesson, kids are capable from young age. So once you left, I sat down with the kids and I said, all right, who's got Sunday night dinner? And one of the kids said, I'll do it. I said, great. What's in the fridge? She went and had a look and she said, I'm going to cook chicken broccoli. Perfect. Who's got Monday night dinner? One of the other kids said, I'll do it. I said, what would you like to cook? She said, I'd like to do mince tortilla wrap things. I'd like to do wraps. I said, fantastic. Who's got Tuesday night or whatever? I can't remember what the nights were, but someone cooked ratatouille. Someone cooked, like, we ate so well. And the kids...
So you were taken care of instead of taking care?
I had to look after a meal myself as well. I got in there and did it. But again, the youngest, she wanted to be part of the team. She got in there and wanted to do she's actually saying, I'd like to do the dishes tonight. I never help, but I think because mum's away, I'd like to do the dishes. I'd like to make a contribution. So my take-home message from this week with you being away is the kids are so capable. Kids are so capable, cooking, dinner, cleaning, and so on. Number 3, don't do too much. So our afternoons, I basically emptied them out. I said to the kids, no priorities, no running around. We've only got to do the stuff that absolutely must be done, like the extracurriculars that we've paid for. Other than that, we're going to spend time at home. We're going to read books. We're going to kick a ball in the backyard, throw some hoops, ride the skateboards, the roller skates, whatever, bikes, and we're going to just really lay off. And it was incredible how good it felt to take the pressure off. We do so much, and I loved it. So they're my top 3. I've got 2 to go.
I think I've been asking you to slow down for about 23 years.
25. That'll be 25.
We didn't have children.
Yeah, but you were still asking me to slow down. Remember when we first got married and I drag you down to the beach at 5 o'clock in the morning to do hahungs? For those of you who don't know, hahungs are just...
Don't ask. Just don't ask.
Okay. Number 4, I said there were 5 lessons. Number 4, 3 words. So much driving. My goodness.
Welcome to my life.
So much driving. It is insane how much time.
How much did you get done while I was gone?
Oh, it is ridiculous how hard it is to get stuff done because there is so much driving with kids that have got to be at this thing or that thing. And so our kids' school, because there were some catchment issues when we moved here and we didn't have a permanent address, and so the local high school wouldn't take us, and so we had to put the kids in a school that cost more money, which is another story for another day. Our school is 18 minutes from home, but we also have a child who has an activity every single morning before school that is so early that we have to do 2 trips to school in the morning. That's 20 and 20 and 20 and 20. That's 80 minutes just in the morning driving to and from our house and school. It's off the charts. And then in the afternoon, I've got to go and pick them up. And then I've got to drive them to this place or that place. They've got their activities. Holy cow.
Do you remember those
so
early
much
years
driving.
where you used to ask me what I'd gotten up to all day?
So much driving. I cannot believe how we've got to get the kids on buses. We've got to come up with a solution for this. It is insane.
What's learning number 5, honey?
Number 5, we miss you so much. We just miss you so much. We can live without you, but it's just our world is smaller when you're not with us. We cannot function nearly as well without you. And I'm not talking about getting the driving done or the cooking done or the cleaning done and all the wonderful, incredible contributions you make to the home. Those are important, but it's the love that we feel in our home because you're there. We have missed you so much.
Well, I'm really excited to be home.
I got to tell you a story.
Uh-oh.
As we were driving home from school, just yesterday or the day before, with you being gone pretty much for the whole time, I was talking to our 8-year-old Emily and I said, how do you reckon this week's gone without Mum? And she said, I miss Mum so much. And I said, it's been really hard, isn't it? I said, but how do you reckon we've gone? And she said this to me. She said, Dad, I wanted to be a little rascal this week. Last time Mum went away, she remembered 18 months ago. She said, last time Mum went away, we fought lots. I was a real rascal. Because when Mummy goes away, I feel bad, and I wanted you to feel bad like I felt. How hard is that? And so when I hear that, so there's this psychological theory, it's been around for a very long time, that kids will sometimes act in a way that is so troublesome and so challenging to us, so that not because they want to terrorize us, not because they want to ruin our lives, but because they want us to feel what they feel, and they don't know how to communicate it, and so they act in a way.
They want us to understand what they're feeling.
Yeah. And when we respond with anger and frustration, all we do is rupture the relationship and make them feel worse about themselves. And they're already feeling awful. And when she said that, Dad, when Mum's away, I feel bad. And sometimes I just want you to feel bad like I do, so you know what it feels like. And I thought, wow, this approach to parenting that we have, sometimes it feels like it's not working at all. And then you have a moment like that, and it's a really powerful way to raise kids. And I'm so grateful. It's been horrible having you gone, but I'm so grateful that you've had the opportunity to go, and that we've all had the learning and the direction, I guess, that we've experienced as a result of your taking some time off.
Well, I'm hoping it won't be 18 months before I get to do it again. But
I don't know how to respond to that one. Don't go. Don't go.
But I'm really, really excited to just get back into life with a bit more energy and a bit more motivation and see where it takes us.
We really hope that this podcast has given you some ideas about how lucky you might be, what opportunities you've got to get away, get some focus and vision, and tap into what matters most. Thank you so much for listening. We hope that it hasn't been a little bit too indulgent. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. Craig Bruce is our executive producer. And for more information about making your family happier, check out our upcoming Resilience Summit, Raising Resilient Kids. It's the summit. You can find all about it at our Facebook page, Dr. Justin Coulson's Happy Families, or at happyfamilies.com.au.